Yo, what is going on, guys? So a few more days until we head to Detroit and get that first win of the season. Get into it.
Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
What is going on, guys? Hope everyone's having a fantastic day, and we're going to go over just in general Lions versus Eagles. Okay, first week of the season going into Detroit, where I think the Eagles are definitely going to get this win. It's not just going on the basis of they've just been a horrible team. I think the Lions have gotten better, and I think they're just still a few more years away from really doing anything. I don't even know if they have the right head coach yet in Dan Campbell, a hoorah type head coach that gets these guys fired up and says a lot of things, but does he have the team to really follow these orders of what he wants them to do, even defensively? Okay, I mean, there was even news a couple of days ago with he doesn't even know who's really calling the plays out in Detroit, unless that's just a smokescreen or maybe someone else is making that decision on who is going to be the play caller for the Detroit Lions, which is interesting. So you look at Jared Goff and you say, hey, I would be careful with Jared Goff. I mean, I've never been a fan of him, but the guy can throw the football, okay? And he's got, I think he's got a couple, maybe a weapon or two, but nothing crazy to where he's going to be that explosive. But I think with the offensive line you have with Detroit, I think it's pretty good. Halapuli Vaitai, that was an ex-Eagle, is hurt on injury reserve. I think he was hurt after the year that he signed with Detroit. He was hurt, and now he's hurt going into this year on injured reserve, so he won't be playing. Penny Sewell going to his second year is going to play really good this year. Obviously, put him in the wrong position last year. I don't know what they were doing with him last year, but I think with this roster, they match up not entirely well against the Eagles' defensive line depth. I just don't think they're going to be able to handle what's to come of them if Jonathan Gannon does the right thing against this Lions offense. With DJ Chark, which is a really good player, a free agent wide receiver that I definitely wanted. Obviously, very happy with what we have now, but signed there for a one-year deal for $10 million. Amon Brown, I think very overrated. Don't think he's good at all. You have Jameson Williams, that's probably not going to be playing, and that's going to probably be their biggest playmaker of the future, just not ready to play yet. Okay, so I do like the matchup with offensive line, defensive line when it comes to our left tackle, right tackle with these defensive ends. Probably most likely is Aiden Hutchinson against either Lane Johnson or Jordan Mailata. I don't know if he's really been switching sides in the preseason too much, but I have no problem with either one of our tackles getting after one of them. You have Michael Brockers, that's obviously a veteran defensive tackle, which is good, but I just don't think they match. I don't like their linebackers or safeties. It's a defense that's not up to par this year. Okay, it's just not up to par with Dan Campbell, what he wants in this defense. As much as they think they're going in the right direction, there's still a few more years away to really do much of anything. And I don't look at the end of the day, the only way the Eagles really lose this game is that the Eagles shoot themselves in the foot. Really, the Eagles make their own mistakes. The Lions will win this game. I obviously know we went, we scored over 40 points on them last year. So we kind of proved last year that we were not the worst team. We made a lot of mistakes, a lot of flaws, but the Lions are definitely better this year, but they're still going to be not a fantastic team. Okay, I look at Jalen Hurts against this defense because really, I don't see anybody in that Lions secondary with Jeff Okudah being there. Okay, and Jeff Okudah, coming off the injury, was very upset last year and was, really just not being able to be there for his team. I don't even think Jeff Okudah, just injury prone, just always hurt. Like, I don't think he's going to be able to handle. I don't think that defense is going to be able to handle. Those corners are not going to be able to handle A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. I mean, you never know. But Quez Watkins, Zach Pascal, I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't see anything that's a threat defensively with the Lions defense. Even though that they're, the linebacker group is kind of, making some recognition. They're trying to find the right guys. And I know they have, who they have at tight end? They have TJ Hawkinson, which was another player that they have a lot of faith in as well. So at the end of the day, guys, like, this game, and I'm not going to say that the first game is usually always a toss-up. This is what I can't stand about the first games. The teams that are supposed to win normally lose, and the teams that are supposed to lose normally win. That's what happens in the first game of the season, because I think of it as a toss-up, because You're trying to get your feet wet into the season, and this is how you start, and which team is more prepared, more ready, and obviously no rust. Eagles going into this game do not need the rust, okay? How pissed I was that the Eagles did not play in preseason whatsoever really pissed me off. It did. But, I don't like how they ran the training camps. I didn't like the hour practices with barely any hitting. Joint practices were the only days where we were more physical, but we still didn't hit. We still didn't tackle, okay? And then these preseason games that Nick Sirianni just doesn't value as much as these joint practices, we had these starters in for a series, and that was it. The first few things I'm looking for when this team gets on the field is that there's no rust. They're not going to, they're going to be fundamentally sound, where they're not going to get penalties. And obviously we kind of dealt with that in preseason a little bit for some of the backups and stuff like that. Comes to holding or, neutral zone or whatever the case may be. The penalties cannot be in this game. They have to be clean with penalties, be sharp. And I think the Eagles are going to do fine in this game. I don't see why they could lose this game. I really don't. Like any given Sunday, it does not matter, okay? But with the Philadelphia Eagles and this roster that they have, and Detroit Lions on a rebuilding stage right now, not knowing if Dan Campbell's going to be the head coach for the next few years, not knowing if he's even going to last, do they have the right pieces? Is Jared Goff the future of that team right now? There's a lot of up in the air type things going on with Detroit right now. So I think the Eagles are more set. I think they have built the right culture going into this season. It's definitely a different culture. You brought some players in like A.J. Brown, that not only accounts for himself, but holds accountability for other players. And I think Devontae Smith's like that. I think Jalen Hurts gravitating players towards him and wanting to play for him, and him being the leader, mentally strong, which I really do like. They have to play a safe, clean game, this Sunday. They have to. That, like I said, the first thing I'm looking for is this team going to have some rust, maybe in the beginning, because I don't want anyone to get pissed off immediately if there's a bad pass thrown or they just look out of sync or the connection between quarterback and wide receiver is not on point. That's what I'm going to be looking for. And obviously this run game against Detroit should be a lot better than expected. If you take away Aiden Hutchinson, Michael Brockers, you take away that defensive line, I don't think there's anybody else on the field in that secondary that's going to be able to tackle or even defend this offense. I just don't see it happening. I kind of want to see what Aiden Hutchinson, Jordan Mailata, Lane Johnson, between that matchup and see what happens there. But I just don't see Detroit defending what we have offensively. I don't see it. So obviously I try to make it the best assumption I have because I don't follow all these teams, the whole entire preseason training camp, but I try to get my best evaluation on opinion. That's really it. So I don't see why. I think, look, Detroit is definitely got better this year. There's no doubt about it. But still a rebuilding team. Still a team that's still striving to find their way with a lot of new pieces and see where they are going into their future. So it should be interesting. But the Eagles are going to win this game Sunday. And I hope they do. They lose, it's going to be upsetting. It really is. Because this potentially could be one of the worst teams, as well as the Chicago Bears and some other teams. I think they could be definitely one of the worst teams this year. And if the Eagles make their own mistakes, if the Eagles shoot themselves in the foot, the only way the Eagles are going to get beat, who's going to beat the Eagles? The Philadelphia Eagles are going to beat the Eagles. That's the only way they lose this game Sunday. And we're going to see what's in store for the Eagles offense and Jalen Hurts and the rest of these receivers. I'm excited. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to see this whole thing. We haven't seen a catch from A.J. Brown in preseason or none of that. Okay, obviously video of him enjoying practice, but to see it in a live game is going to be fantastic with the rest of these guys. I just don't think there's enough for the Detroit Lions to defend. And obviously our defense should do a really good number on what they have on their receivers. I just don't see that much. That's going to be a huge problem unless Gannon is not pressuring, not doing any blitz packages, is not using this night and day linebacker position that you literally changed in 1 year, pretty much. You could do really special things with this defense this year. It's going to be on Jonathan Gannon. If I see the same adjustments we made last year, because really that second preseason game against the Browns, wasn't a fan of how passive we were that whole entire game. Kind of worried me a little bit. Okay, kind of worried me just a little bit. But Jonathan Gannon is a huge piece to this to this defense this year because he makes all the calls. That's it. You know what I mean? I want to see a 4-man pass rush. I better see it. I hope I see it. I know it's going to be multiple fronts. I want to see Reddick drop back in coverage. I want to see him on the edge. I want to see him next to Hargrave with Cox and Brandon Graham coming off that Achilles injury, which hopefully he stays healthy. If I don't see a 4-man pass rush or at least a pass rush in general, it's going to be a problem. Then I already know what we're in for. And we're making the same adjustments like we did the second half of every game last year. Same adjustments. Same problems in the first half defensively. And then we do okay in the third quarter, or we do well defensively in the second half, or we're on point in the second half, and then we stray back to our old ways again and not blitzing enough and not getting enough pressure and not being disruptive enough. You have the roster to get this done defensively. And if you don't, then I don't know what to tell you. So let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about the matchup between the Philadelphia Eagles, Detroit Lions. What are you excited for? What are you worried about? That's the next question. Or you just want to troll and talk crap about the Lions. That's totally fine with me. I'm totally fine with it. Okay, but that is my assumption of what's going to happen this Sunday. And I'm very excited for it. So you guys have a fantastic... Well, this was more than a rant, more than just a preview, but this was just a rant. Really. Because I need this team to... We got to get this first win of the season, get these guys in the right mindset, take a good step forward, a nice, clean game, not an ugly disaster game where we win by 3 points. This team should win. Okay, this team should score over 35 points in this game. Okay, I could see Detroit maybe scoring 13 points in this game. No joke. Like, I just don't see it unless we're killing them and we take our starters out and who knows what happens. But to be a playoff team, you got to score over 30 points a game. You got to be in that marker. And if you're not, then we're going to be in trouble. So I have a lot of faith. I feel really good inside my soul right now. And that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys on the next one. SHAKESQUAD up, follow us. Peace out, guys. Peace. Fly, Eagles, fly.